So last week I went to Warsaw and I've been there so many times that I decided not to take a camera, and as soon as I got on a train I realized that it was not a good idea at all. So to turn defeat into victory I bought my first disposable since probably the early O's to test it, so you don't have to. Well, disposables are quite similar to point and shoot, so you have no control over anything, like in your life. But the biggest problem is that even a camera has no control at all. I mean, everything is fixed: shutter speed, aperture, ISO, what's obvious. Surprisingly, in 2024 there is a variety of choices. There is Kodak Daylight, FunSaver, Tri-X, Agfa, even waterproof Agfa, Fuji, some no-names, Ilford with HP5, Ilford XP2, and Ilfocolor, and probably something else not listed, but actually I was intrigued by Ilfocolor. Those cameras have been on the market for some time. They were available far before Phoenix was released, so it's hard to guess what film was inside. I mean, hypothetically, it could be even Kodak Aerochrome.
How about new?
But anyway, I took a risk for like 25 bucks. So Ilford is preloaded with 400 ISO film. It has 31mm shitty plastic lens with an f11 aperture and shutter speed fixed at 1/125th of a second. And there is a built-in flash which makes it some kind of upper class disposable. But no more talking, let's take this plastic bastard for a walk. As you can see, in these conditions it may appear that the frame will be overexposed, but well, negative film is quite flexible, and that's why disposables or simple point and shoots with fixed settings can work pretty fine. I mean, your lab's gonna probably handle it and fix while scanning. Speaking about the lens, it's cheap piece of plastic with a resolution comparable to 8-bit Nintendo games, with more defects than number of STDs you can get in massage parlor in Bangkok. I mean, it's acceptable in the center, but look what's happening in the corners. Well, I really like those two shots, despite distortion, which is not desirable in architecture photography, but still we are talking about a camera loaded with a film which costs not much more than a film itself, so yeah, it's quite alright. The weather for February in Poland was surprisingly good, so we decided to go to Royal Baths Park, which is the largest park in Warsaw. Fixed focus with f11 lens should provide depth of field like from 1 meter to infinity, which is nice because you don't have to bother about focusing, recomposing, things like that, but actually the lens is so soft that nothing seems to be in focus at all. And well, if you are wondering why lenses are so expensive, why there is so much glass inside, why the coating is so important, yeah, that's why. In the park I had one main goal, which was to find a squirrel. and I found one showing something from the bird feeder, and this time Ilford played its part quite well. I mean, it's much easier to capture a squirrel when all you need to do is to press a shutter button. By the way, this plastic shutter works almost silently. The film is advanced manually, so there's no strange mechanical noise after taking a shot, and when you combine this with an extremely wide depth of field, you get the perfect gear for street photography. No one will even give a damn while seeing you with this little plastic toy-like camera. So you're welcome, you just saved like $400 on Leica. But seriously, all shots from the park were a little bit overexposed, but as I say, the film is flexible, and unlike digital sensors, film deals better with overexposure than with underexposure, so long story short, you can recover much more from highlights than from shadows. So after spending more on coffee than on the camera, we moved on to shop and monument. Well, actually, I also ordered a pancake, but still it was overpriced. Anyway, Shop and Monument is probably one of the most iconic in Poland, and what's funny, I haven't seen it before. Only on the bags of pralines, which you can buy in every duty-free store at airports, at a price as crazy as a coffee we drank just before. But it's a good time to talk about the film. We don't know what's inside Ilfocolor, and the barcode leads to Ferrenia Solaris 400, which is quite unlikely because the stock was discontinued years ago. The note on the box says that the camera is made in China, and on AliExpress you can find very similar disposables. Also, Aquale box is pretty much the same, so with no doubt this product is only branded by Ilford, and inside could be anything, like some frozen stock, Kodak, or maybe even Orwo. All in all, it has a similar vibe to Fuji Superior Extra, warm tones and, like in the song, green green grass and blue blue sky. So yeah, in the evening we made it to the shrimp house, where I took the only picture with flash. It's kinda blurry because I was less than 1 meter from the plate, but the flash worked somehow, and that's all we need to know about it. The next day was exactly like almost every day of Polish winter, so windy and rainy. But the good thing is that there was fog hanging over the Palace of Culture, so I took almost the same shot as on the cover of the first issue of Polish Vogue. Almost the same. This vintage bus was a nice opportunity to test the viewfinder, which covers like 70% of the frame, because this is what you see and this is what you get. I told you already about distortion, but look at this wall. Even in Holga those lens issues look more classy than here. So we end our little adventure with Ilfocolor in front of this Photoshop straight out of the 90s. I'm pretty sure that I took one more shot of the entrance to our hotel, but it was probably way too dark for Ilford, so what can I say? Those cameras are not made for serious photography, more for fun and some vacation shooting, and Ilford is not a diamond among other disposables, but at least in Poland it's one of the most expensive. As for me, I would rather buy some cheap point and shoot like my Prima 5. It has a much better lens, autofocus, it takes some control over the exposure. I mean, it's far from perfect, but it's just a better option.